So yesterday we made a video talking about Gavin McKenna, asking the question, who is this number one ranked prospect? Now we're going to take a look at 10 players from the 2026 draft class and discuss about these guys and who they are, per se. We'll be taking a look at their stats from last season, where they are currently playing this year, and give some notes and thoughts about these players as a whole. So let's hop right in. First off, we are obviously going to start off with Gavin McKenna, who is 6 foot, 165 pounds. He is a left winger in 24-25. He played 56 games with the Medicine Hat Tigers, had 41 goals, 88 assists for 129 points. Obviously, he would go on, he would win a Memorial Cup, and then he is now at Penn State University in 2025-26. Some notes about Gavin McKenna, and we're going to keep it pretty short here because there's literally a video on the channel about him. McKenna is, quote, an effortless scorer, elite IQ and shot. This guy is just off the charts. Not only is he known for that, but he's also known for his great playmaking skills and his really polished game that he plays at a 200-foot level. And you don't see players like that, having skill like that, having upside like that at this point in their career. It's unprecedented. And I feel like McKenna is by far the top prospect for this draft, and it really doesn't come close. So there's my segment on Gavin McKenna. Again, if you're watching this video, I highly recommend you go watch this video that's up in the card talking about McKenna and his overall trajectory the last couple of years. Now we hop into the rest of this class, and this class is actually overall pretty stacked. I feel like if you exclude Gavin McKenna, there's a couple of players in here who you could argue, like, yeah, they could really be the first overall pick. That's how crazy this draft class is. The first one on that list is Keaton Verhoff, and I feel like Verhoff is a very good example of this. He is one of the top defensemen, or I would actually argue he is the top defenseman in this draft class. And if Gavin McKenna was, let's say, last year or the year afterwards, he goes number one. So Verhoff is 6'4", 212 pounds. He spent last year with the Victoriaville Royals. 63 games played, 21 goals, 24 assists for 45 points. He is actually now at the University of North Dakota for this season. So like Gavin McKenna, he transfers over from the WHL over to the NCAA. I will say this. There is a lot of players in here, like everybody's been saying, oh my goodness, everybody's leaving the CHL. There's a lot of players on this list right now that are still in the WHL playing their draft year out. So I do want to put that out there to the world. There's still a lot of players that are doing that. But Verhoff is, again, as I said, if there was any other instance, he's probably going first overall. This guy's known for his big size. He's a big right-handed defenseman, and those are pretty hard to come by, so it already puts you on a pretty high stock rate as it is. As well as that, too, he has a great shot, great passing, and a really good defensive game. He is good two-way, and I feel like this is going to be somebody who, you look at a team who really needs a defenseman, and if San Jose, let's say they get second overall, and Gavin McKenna goes first overall to somebody else, Verhoff would be a slam dunk 10 out of 10 pick alongside a guy like Jason Dickinson. That would make up to be a really good blue line with just those two guys alone, and he would make out for a great pick. Now, again, you don't know the draft lottery outcome, or you don't know what it's going to be, so maybe you get to that point and he's not, there. You never know. But overall, Verhoff, by far, in my opinion, the best defenseman in this draft. Next up, Ivar Stenberg, the brother of Otto Stenberg, who is with the St. Louis Blues. Now, Stenberg is a right wing / left wing. He is 6 foot, 181 pounds. He spent this past year with the Frölunda J20. He played 27 games, had 26 goals, 27 assists for 53 points with the team this past year. He is expected to be with the probably J20 team again for some points, but he probably will be playing up with Frölunda HC in 2025-26. That is the expectation. Now, we have seen some rumors of possible NCAA. We have heard some things about that. Maybe he comes over. But as of right now, there is nothing that we've heard. A lot of it's been very premature. So I do want to put that out there to the world. But Stenberg, great offensive capabilities, good size, about the average size of players in this class. I do have some notes about him, though, that are a little bit interesting. This guy is known for his elite skill and elite game. So he's got some great IQ, and he's got the skill that is off the charts. You need guys who have skill, and I feel like Stenberg is one of those players who has that. There is a good amount of players in this draft that do have that skill. So he plays a massive factor in that, and if he's anything like his brother, who his brother will be a solid player in the NHL, but Stenberg is looked at as the better brother. So it's looking pretty good there for this kid. I do want to apologize if I'm pronouncing these players' names wrong. If you've been following the channel for a long time now, you will know that I'm not good with name pronunciation. Even if I do research on it, which I did, I somehow find a way to mess it up. Next up then is Ryan Rubrick, like a rubric in school. 6'4", 216 pounds. He is known as a center, so I would argue, and at least as of right now, he is probably the best center in this draft. I know Gavin McKenna can also play center too at points. He's not really known for that, but I think that Rubrick is probably the best guy. He spent this past year with the Niagara Ice Dogs. He played 64 games, had 41 goals, 46 assists for 87 points. He is, again, expected to be at Niagara in 2025-26. Again, even last year put up some really good numbers for them, scored 41 goals. I think that's really notable. He has a really good scoring touch. That's what I've noticed about him. So notes about him, he has a good combination of puck skills, scoring, and athleticism. So those are a lot of things that you want to see in a complete offensive player. He's got that mobility. He's got that athleticism. He's fit. He's in shape and ready to play. And overall, I am really expecting a big year from him this year. And we'll be making some prospect videos throughout the year and talking about some other guys as well. Because again, you can only have so much content you can put out and so much ideas. But regardless, we will be discussing him a lot more and a lot of other these guys as well. So we can follow that throughout. But Rubrick, I really like the way he's played, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do in his draft year this year. On to the fifth player then, you have Tynan Lawrence, who is also a center. He is 6 foot, 185 pounds. Now, Lawrence has an interesting developmental path. So it's looking like, at least as of right now, this guy is going to go for Muskegon right now, where he's playing. He had 56 games played, 25 goals, 29 assists for 54 points in 24-25. Good numbers there for sure. He will play in Muskegon this year, and then he is going to go to Boston University the following year. So we already know his timeline there. He's not going to be somebody who comes into the NHL right away. But Lawrence, again, like a lot of the other guys, average size. He's got that good tenacity to him. He's put up some good numbers in the USHL. Some other notes about him as well. He is skilled and is a relentless center who can do it all. And you need centers like that. When you look at teams who are really struggling to find centers, this guy is a good, probably number one center, possibly on some teams. If you look at it, maybe a lower end number one center, at least as of right now, but you never know. The potential is there with this kid. He really can do it all. He's got good 200-foot game, and I think that's what's really noticeable about him. I really looked at his highlights, and I think that there's a couple of teams this year who are going to be looking for centers. I know last year was a big center draft and defenseman draft as well, but I think you're really going to need to look at a center here like Lawrence, and if he's there at your pick, I don't know, you should go with him. So Lawrence, I'm very high on him as well. I'm actually pretty high on most of this class, to be honest with you. Again, apologies for my name pronunciation. I believe I'm saying this right, but Viggo Bjork, who is 5'10", 172 pounds. He is a center / right wing, so he can play both positions there. I'm already noticing an issue with his size, but I'll read off his stats first. He played 42 games this past year with Djurgården's J20 alongside a guy like Stenberg, had 27 goals, 47 assists for 74 points. Definitely, or I'm sorry, they played on different teams. I don't know how that really contemplated in my mind. But regardless, he put up good numbers there in the J20. 74 points is pretty solid with Djurgårdens in their J20. He is expected to be with the pro Swedish team next season, the Djurgårdens IF. In 25-26, so you will see some actual pro play there from him. It's interesting to see two guys this year. Last year, you were really highlighted by Anton Frundell. Victor Eklund went later, but I'm expecting both of these players to go in the top 10. And that's really interesting, seeing two players from the SHL who have garnered that pro experience. It could become intriguing. I'm very interested to see how it's going to go. Now, some notes about Bajork that are pretty interesting. He is undersized. You can notice that he's 5'10". He's not as sized as some of the other guys, but he is hyper intelligent and a pro level shot. The fact that he has a pro level shot before his draft year is telling me that he's probably going to score maybe 20 goals with the pro team this year. And again, that might not seem like a lot, but with a young kid on a team like that, if he scores 20, that's pretty good. So I got to say that makes me a lot of optimism there for Bajork. Again, you see guys with size, they tend to be a little bit worrisome. Some of them go, like Connor Bedard is the same height as Bajork. I think he's a little bit taller. And some other guys will drop. You see other guys drop due to their size. It kind of depends, to be honest with you. But I feel like he has the elite skill that you can't really ignore it. It's just, again, like, it's a hard-hitting league. It's physical, and it's difficult for some guys who are, shorter in size to really keep up with everything. But even still, I think they will be doing great here. I think he's going to do a good job and have a great season in the SHL. And again, you gain that valuable experience, and he can still grow. It's not like he's, like, fully developed. Nobody's fully developed, to be honest with you. Memphis Preston is another interesting one here as well. He is listed as a forward, just a forward on Elite Prospects. That is intriguing. So he is 5'11", 176 pounds, so he's a little bit taller than Bajork. 54 games played, 23 goals, 22 assists for 45 points with the Spokane Chiefs. He is expected to be at Spokane this season as well. So Preston is also an interesting one as well, because I think that he has the really good skill and playmaking to put him above some of the other players here that he's ranked lower than. He is a good pace setter. He is speed and skill and is a flashy offensive option. When you're looking for a guy who can produce offense for you, I think Preston's going to be your guy. He missed a couple of games last year, though, due to some injuries that went down with him. So, again, I think that that's something you want to look at there for sure. But I think that those 45 points, I think that almost doubles next season. I feel like he can probably get upwards of 100 points, maybe 90 points. I think you look at him and you say, yeah, you're going to see a big draft year. I feel like that's somebody who I could really realistically see having a massive season this year for Spokane. And again, you typically see players in their draft years, they do phenomenal. I'm looking at Preston and I'm saying he's one of my biggest candidates for a guy who could be a real riser in this draft, just due to that offensive option and being fast as well. You want fast players on your roster, and Preston is definitely one of those for sure. Ryan Lynn is a right shot defenseman who played with the Vancouver Giants last year. He is 5'11" as well, 176 pounds. He played 60 games this past year with the Vancouver Giants, had 5 goals, 48 assists for 53 points. He is also expected to be with Vancouver in 2025-26. So Ryan Lynn, listed as an undersized defender who is nevertheless effective. Now, being undersized as a forward, I feel like you can be able to get away with it, but as a defenseman, there is some difficulties to it. Now, I'm not saying that like it's impossible to play really good in the NHL, but it certainly does hurt your draft stock a little bit, and I would not be shocked. I do have him here in my top 10 for guys that, like I looked at in this prospect pool, but in terms of what's going to move on and happen, I feel like there's a good chance, looking at history prior, that we could see him drop. There is a real possibility that we could see that happen, to be honest with you. However, I think he still has the good defensive capabilities. He's not really known for his offense. I'll just put that out there. He's not really known for that, but he's got good defensive skill, and I feel like that's something that you want to look at there for sure. I feel like, though, his offensive game is still pretty good, and it's something that you can improve upon too as well. So overall, Lynn, definitely the size is a concern, but nevertheless is still a good player. Next up then, and you got to bear with me here, we have a big-sized forward here in Ethan Belched. I hope I'm saying that right, Ethan Belched. We'll find out. 56 games played this past year with the Windsor Spitfires, 17 goals, 21 assists for 38 points. He is going to be with the Spitfires in 25-26. He is a ginormous forward, which is what I read from Dobber Prospects, with skill, and it could be a very good modern power forward at his NHL level. Now, when you look at power forwards in the league, they definitely have that big size. They can be physical, but they can also score a lot offensively as well. And Belch has the size to do that. He's already 227. He is a big-sized, ginormous player. This is going to be a guy who you really watch out for here as somebody who could go high. And you look at NHL GMs and teams in the past, they love to draft guys who are big in size, higher, it's known. They love to do that. And I feel like a guy like Belch, you could see him go pretty high in this year's draft. And overall, like, my biggest thing is his size. I love it. And he's got great skill, too. Sometimes with size, you can be slow. There definitely is a little bit of that, but I think his skating has improved over the last couple of years. So there's a lot to look at there as well. But overall, Belch, probably going to be one of my favorite players in this draft. I'm going to be honest with you. And then last but not least here, the final prospect we're going to talk about is Daxon Rudolph. Love that name. That name's going to be awesome. He is 6'2", 203 pounds, a right shot defenseman, 64 games played, 7 goals, 34 assists for 41 points with the Prince Albert Raiders. He will be there as well in 25-26. So again, an aggressive two-way defender with the offensive side to his game. He's got some good offensive numbers. I think you're going to see that really improve this year. But again, he is known for his two-way skill. He can play a really good 200-foot game, and you need players like that. You need defensemen like that. Notice how 3 of the 10 are right shot defenders. That's going to play a big factor here in this draft. And right shot D are very hard to come by, I'm just going to be honest with you. And seeing that there's 3 of them on the board, I think of teams that are looking for them, like Anaheim is a good example. They're stacked on their left shot side, but their right shot side's pretty weak. I'm not saying that the Ducks would go for this, but regardless, or if they're even there, but regardless, you see that, and that's a big advantage. But Rudolph, really known for his good two-way aggression. He's not as big as the other guys. He actually is bigger than Lynn, but overall, I think that Rudolph is going to be one who you look out for here in the future, and definitely has a killer name as well, for sure. So there you go. That's some of the guys in this 2026 NHL draft. We'll obviously go in a full, in-depth preview later on in the season. We'll do a redraft as well, probably, or a mock draft, not a redraft. The draft doesn't happen yet. A mock draft probably sometime in, I like to do it in January, so we'll probably do one then, and then probably in March, and then we'll do one every month until the draft. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like down below and subscribe if you're new. I would greatly appreciate it. I love the support the last couple of weeks. It's been really appreciated. But anyways, that is it for me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.